Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Jordan Cameron back with another video today. Hope everyone is doing absolutely fantastic out there as we continue to go over our thesis of why we think that total market cap is going to continue higher, right? Higher highs and higher lows. And why, once again, we're just seeing total market cap holding support above the previous 2024 highs, despite the big liquidation candle that we saw on the crypto market last week. If you watched last video last week, we continue to say as long as total market cap continues to hold the 2024 highs and continues to flip it as support, all is good, right? As long as Bitcoin is over here holding those 2024 highs and flipping into support, all is good, and we're going to continue to look for the total market cap of crypto, despite the ups, despite the downs, to continue up to our target of 10 trillion, the 4236 Fibonacci, and the top of our ultimately rising wedge, which if you come to this channel and you look for bull-only content, there will be a point where I will flip into a perma bear, and most people will not like me at that point. But I do not think we're at that point of the cycle yet. I do think that the market is going to continue up, and we're going to discuss in the video why we still think that we're going to see this more so of a big move to the upside up to 10 trillion in the 4236 Fibonacci level. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys once again for 100,000 subscribers. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And let's jump on in. So I know a lot of the new people who are coming to the channel, especially after seeing the market on Friday, are going to be like, "Are you crazy? You really think the market's going to continue up?" And to those people that I once again I stress the importance of going to the higher time frames on the total market cap chart and looking and still seeing that the market, all right, since we kind of made this call down in March and April, saying that we're gonna bounce from the bottom of our rising wedge, really stemming from Bitcoin bouncing at the 50 moving average band, just like it did back in August 2024, September 2024, and back over here in 2023. Okay, from that point of the tariff lows, the tariff scares, we said Bitcoin was going to go on to make a new all-time high, which it did, right? We said that total market cap was going to go on and make a new all-time high, which it did. And we also said that Ethereum is going to go on to make a new all-time high, which it did. Now, we've seen a little bit of a cool-off period, but despite the cool-off period, we're continuing to just see the total market cap of crypto make higher highs and higher lows, right? Each one of these corrections as coincidentally made higher lows, right? Whether it's the April low or the June low, or even the low we just put in September on that big liquidation candle last week, it's the first week of October, still a higher low than June of 2025, right? And still just total market cap continues to hold support above the December and January highs here, just flipping the old resistance into new support, right? Simple TA, not anything to be crazy about. And we're continuing to say until we get any type of weekly closure of total market cap below these highs, all is good in crypto, and I'm just going to continue to think that the market is going to bounce from here and eventually make higher highs for the total market cap chart and just continue our rampage of climbing the wall of worry where every dip gets, the naysayers, the haters, but yet the total market cap of crypto just continues to grow, okay? And the same over here on both the Bitcoin and Ethereum charts. We're going to go over once again, not just, on the basic USD charts here, we're going to go over our stablecoin dominance charts, our sort of a base case scenario why we think the market's going higher. But even over here on the Bitcoin chart, despite that big 10% candle, still holding above the December 2024 and January 2025 highs. And we're still going to think as long as it holds above those highs, we're going to continue to see Bitcoin go on also to make new highs. And I continue to stress this, guys. I will not flip into a bear, and I've been saying this since March, really since the whole cycle. I will not flip into a bear on the cryptocurrency market unless I see Bitcoin get a weekly closure below the 50 moving average band. So as you guys can see right now, are at 100,000 to about 102,000. Unless Bitcoin gets a weekly close below that point, which it hasn't this whole cycle, we're going to continue to think that Bitcoin's going to continue up, and we're not going to flip into a bear until we get a weekly closure, not a wick, right? We've had a few wicks below, but a weekly closure below that 50 moving average band. We're going to just continue to think that Bitcoin is going to bounce here and make a new high over the course of the next few weeks. which obviously will lead total market cap to make a new all-time high for the next few weeks. Now, the other point where we sort of, we take off our perma bull glasses and we say, okay, how do we flip into a bear? The more bullish scenario, and this is the scenario that I more favor, that it's always possible that Bitcoin breaks the 50 moving average bands first. But I believe before Bitcoin breaks the 50 moving average bands, the other scenario where we flip into a bear, okay, is we get stablecoin dominance reaching back down to 4.91%, okay, where we could make a slight deviation of the low. But ultimately, all right, we've seen the major tops on Bitcoin come in 2024 and 2025 when stablecoin dominance hit 4.91%. And even though we had this big rise up on stablecoin dominance here, we've retraced that back down and right back into the range that we've seen really since July. And I'm going to continue to say, I'm going to continue to think that the market is going to push up, right? Despite the ups and the downs and the big liquidation candles, right? Where altcoins go down 70% on a wick and retrace the entire freaking move. Absolute craziness. In the markets where we got altcoins down 70, 80%, and then pulling 3-4x's back up where they're only maybe down 15, 20% of where they were after an 80% move down. It's kind of crazy. But despite that, we're going to continue to think the market's going to continue up, guys, until we get, once again, Bitcoin breaking the 50 moving average bands on a weekly close, or stablecoin dominance hitting 4.91%. And we have not seen either of those happen. So I'm going to continue to be bullish. I'm going to continue to think that the market's going to move up, making higher highs and higher lows on the high time frames, despite the occasional liquidation events, especially that we saw on Friday. And the Wyckoff accumulation on stablecoin dominance is ultimately going to play out where we do get this final move down, which results in this final move up on total market cap, right? The euphoria phase where it sucks in your uncle, sucks in your aunt, sucks in your cousin. They're all asking, for the new crypto, shiny cryptos, right? AKA the beanie babies or, the .com era stocks, right? Where they all want to pile in at the highs. That's going to be what the stablecoin dominance move down ultimately is going to be, right? A inverse correlation of total market cap going to the upside. But ultimately, what does that lead to? Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. That's true, man. Damn. What is that ultimately going to lead us to? Well, that's going to lead us to what I think is going to be the biggest bear market that we've ever seen in cryptocurrency and that we've seen in the stock market in quite a while, where stablecoin dominance is then going to get a spring phase and actually break to the upside. This is your classic Wyckoff accumulation. This is your classic market cycle where you have the bear market, you have the sideways consolidation, you have some type of Wyckoff accumulation structure before ultimately we get the rise. I do think this is a Wyckoff accumulation structure forming on stablecoin dominance, and this final plunge on stablecoin dominance is going to be the final blow off top for total cryptocurrency market cap, right? Before ultimately this gets the spring phase out of here, which leads to the biggest bear market that we've ever seen in crypto. And there will be a point in time where I turn into the biggest bear and I will be screaming at the rooftops that I think the scenario is going to play out. And, I will take the heat. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And I'm the first one to have invalidations on all those points. But, ultimately, this is still my base case. And this is still what I think is going to happen. And since March and April, right, despite the craziness of this market on a day-to-day basis, right, the total market cap has continued to make it higher highs and higher lows and continues to hold above the November and December high. So ultimately, that's where we're at in the market, guys. Total market cap still just making higher highs and higher lows despite, people once again kind of getting maybe a little crazy out and, a bunch of leverage traders getting absolutely destroyed on that move to the downside the other day. Anyone who's holding spot, you might be down on some of your altcoins, but Bitcoin right back at 113,000. We got Ethereum back at 4,100. And ultimately, what I think the next move is going to be is, if we actually take a look at Ethereum here, what I think ultimately we're still in is I still think we're in Ethereum season, right? Where ultimately, as long as Ethereum continues to hold above, right, the November 2021 close highs and all these close highs from 2024 and 2025, as long as Ethereum continues to hold down a weekly close, I ultimately still think we're in Ethereum season. And this was basically just the breakout, the retest, and before we get the continuation into new all-time highs for Ethereum, and Ethereum season just continues, right? I don't think it's quite altcoin season yet. I still think it's Ethereum season. And ultimately, until we get Ethereum into price discovery, I still do think it's going to be Ethereum and Bitcoin, right, leading the show until that point. And once you get Ethereum up into price discovery, that's when you're going to see a lot of your altcoins that have not moved in this cycle really start to move. And I think that is evident over here in our Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoin dominance chart. Where ultimately, right, we're expecting that this 82% level on this continues to be resistance, right? We could continue to chop in this as, money flows from Bitcoin to ETH, but ultimately this chart doesn't move. And then eventually what we're expecting is this to be some sort of range, right? Where we do get back down to the bottom of that range eventually, just like in 2021, though we did have a big move up above this. Ultimately, that's what led us to this altcoin season all the way back down to 2021, where we were in 2019, where we go to the lows, back to the highs, to the lows, to the highs. We're eventually getting this back to the lows again. You can see this level is a level. It's respected. And I am expecting, even though we did see a wick above, we said in the last video, could this wick above be enough, just like the 2021 highs here, where this wick above was enough to then kick off this? I don't know if that's the case just yet. And I think the main reason of that is I still think it's Ethereum season. So we still could see this come back up, back to the range highs as Ethereum sucks up liquidity from other altcoins and Bitcoin sucks up liquidity from altcoins. But ultimately, I do expect this to move back to the downside. And any big giant dips, like you saw on Friday, are for buying, not for panic selling. And if you panic sold the lows the other day, that was probably the worst possible thing you could have done, right? Situations like that where you get those massive crashes, probably the best thing to do is to be actually accumulating and not panic selling your cryptos. If you did accumulate during those times, you're already made back 2, 3, 4, even 5x on some altcoins from those liquidation points. So as we kind of go along here, I am still expecting this to move to the downside. Still could be choppy at the highs here. Ultimately, as money flows, like I said, from Bitcoin to ETH, and until we get Ethereum into that price discovery point, I still do think it's going to be more so of an Ethereum, a Bitcoin-led rally, but an Ethereum outperformance of Bitcoin that flows into altcoins as Ethereum breaks into new all-time highs. But ultimately, whether it's a Bitcoin time to rise or it's Ethereum time to rise or where it's altcoin time to rise, the main thesis of this channel is that we just continue to see the total market cap of crypto, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's the altcoins, just continue to rise, okay? Just continue to rise as they all take turns, just like in every single cycle where we get a Bitcoin season, an Ethereum season, and then an altcoin season towards the end. I still think we're in that Ethereum season point, but ultimately, like I said, I am expecting this chart to break to the downside eventually. And when it does happen, I think it will be very aggressive, just like this in just a few weeks. And I think to be positioned to that is whenever we see the stablecoin dominance, really the Bitcoin, ETH, and USDT and USDC dominance chart get up to 82%. That's one of the best times to actually be accumulating your altcoins is when this hits these highs. Because usually from that point, you see a quick reversal. Even if it's a few weeks above, usually it's a quick reversal and you start to see money flow back into your altcoins. But until then, still expect Bitcoin and ETH to sort of lead the way until we get into price discovery here. So that's kind of it, guys, right? As we kind of simply move along and, we just kind of frolic in sort of, retesting the highs on total market cap, retesting the highs on Ethereum, retesting the highs on Bitcoin, right? Simple retests, testing your patience, and just, once again, sticking to your validation levels where we're bulls. Just like we said when we were down here, right? When there's a lot of fear, we are bulls on Bitcoin unless we see this 50 moving average band break, okay? Or we're bulls on crypto market in general until we see stablecoin dominance at 4.91%. We have our bullish thesis where we could be bearish, and we have our bearish thesis where we could be bearish, right? We have both scenarios. We have our validation points. We have a plan. That's the most important thing you can do right now. And my thesis still is that we're going to continue to see this market march into new all-time highs over the course of the next few months, right? So It's been your boy Jordan Cameron. That's the update we got today, guys. We have our invalidation points. We have our retests. We have our liquidations, right? We have our sort of V-shaped recoveries on a lot of these coins. Now we simply wait and we simply see whether what happens. Our bearish invalidation of Bitcoin breaking the 50 moving average band, or our bullish invalidation where we flip bearish after the massive move up at 4.91% stablecoin dominance. We have our invalidations and we simply wait till one of those invalidations gets hit. All right. So it's been your boy Jordan Cameron. Continue to stay the course. Continue to, right? If you see another stablecoin dominance move up to 82%, right, on Bitcoin, ETH, stablecoin dominance, right? That's typically the best time to be looking at buys. Until then, you're better off just sitting on your hands or taking profits on pumps. All right. And we simply wait. All right. So it's been your boy Jordan Cameron. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you guys can be a part of the journey of total market cap getting to 10 trillion or not getting to 10 trillion, where you can come in the comment section and troll me all you want. Right. I'm the first to admit when I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong about this, I'll be first to admit it. But as of right now, we still have total market cap making higher highs and higher lows. We're still above the 2024 highs on Bitcoin and on total market cap. All is going according to plan, and looking forward to the next move. All right, it's been your boy Jordan Cameron. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Adios.